brothers and sisters, we gather again in this Christmas season. Now we celebrate the second of our feasts that fall on Sunday during this Christmas season. Last week, Sunday at Christmas, was Holy Family. Today we gather to celebrate the story of the Epiphany. Of course, remember what the word Epiphany means. It means to manifest, it means to show, it means for people to see. So this feast is about people seeing Jesus. It's about the story of the salvation for all people. January 6th is really the day on which Epiphany falls in the calendar, everyone. How did we get the 12 days of Christmas? Well, 12 days after Christmas, everyone, we celebrate Epiphany faith. So really the 12 days, the song of the 12 days of Christmas manifests the Christmas story for all people. All people. As Paul says, Ron, you read it in the second reading of today, for the Jews and for the Gentiles alike. And where does it all start, everyone? It starts in the sky. You know, everyone, when I was young, I used to like going out for walks. I still kind of do, but I used to go out at night and always take the family dog with me. And aren't we so fortunate, everyone, that we can look up in the sky at night, and if it isn't cloudy, we can see stars. Just amazing, everyone, when there's not a cloud in the sky, how we can look up and see stars after stars. It's just beautiful. Don't you feel bad for people who live in so much smog that they never get to see stars, the sky? And you look up there, everyone, and you see, there it is, stars upon stars. And you realize when you do that, 2,000 years ago, these magi that we heard of in the gospel of today looked up into the same sky. And what did they see, everyone? A star of all stars. And I want to talk a little bit today about that star, everyone. I want to talk a little bit today about Epiphany. 6 brief thoughts on this feast today. Number 1, did you ever wonder why a star in the sky is the center point of Epiphany? Well, I'm going to share with you my thought on that today, everyone. It may not be the only thought, but it is a thought. You know, it doesn't matter wherever you are in the world. Korea, China, Russia, Israel, Persia, United States. The one thing we can all do, everyone, is we can all look up in the sky. No matter where you are, we can all look up into the sky. And the one thing, no matter where we are in the world, we can look up into that sky and see is stars. So if this day celebrates the salvation for all people, it would make great sense that it be based upon something that we can all see. A sky. And something that we can all see. A star. Thought number 2. Isn't it interesting, everyone, how news works? I always find it fascinating that if papers or the news needs to find something to spice things up, where do they go where the action is? Don't you find it amazing that probably if the newspapers, if the news had went someplace, the place they would have gone at that time would not have been Bethlehem, it would have been Jerusalem. You see, Herod would have sold news. He was a fascinating creature. Threats, murder, corruption. Hey, he even killed his own kids. It would have been quite a story. That's where they would have gone. Don't you find that interesting? Why they wouldn't have gone to Bethlehem? It was simply too peaceful. Too quiet. Okay? News goes where things are sold. They would have gone to Herod and not to Bethlehem. Okay? My third thought on this. You know, everyone, we have these ideas. Modern technology today is fascinating. Computers, we have phones, we have apps, you name it, we've got it. Well, everyone, when you look at how Herod went about with his questioning of the Magi, he asked 2 questions. Question number 1, first, when did you see the star? The second question is this, where is he to be found? Okay? Longitude here, latitude. When did you see the star? This is the time coordinate. Where did you see him? Answer, Bethlehem. This is the space coordinate. So now, everyone, you have the longitude, you have the latitude. So if you put that in your GPS, what do you have? the exact location of this child. You got him. You got him. But we're going to come back to that in my final thought. My fourth thought. What do we know about the Magi? People, we don't know exactly how far they traveled, but it was probably miles upon miles upon miles. We believe they probably went over the mountains of Persia. Okay? Across the desert, after all, why would you use a camel going over a mountain? Right? Miles upon miles upon miles. Do you realize how much money it would have taken for them to journey? The number of inns they would have had to stop at to feed animals, to feed camels, to feed servants who probably went along with them. And in the end, what do they find, everyone? What is left? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And all for what? A star. A light in the sky. Amazing story. Think about the money it would have cost for them to make this journey. Point number 5. There's a spiritual truth found in this gospel to everyone, and it is this. They get there all of a sudden. The Magi come now to Bethlehem. They lay eyes on the child, and what do they have? A dream. And what does the dream tell them not to do? Don't go back to Herod. See, Herod is lying. I want to go do him homage. No, he's not. He wants to stuff him out. Okay? That's the factual truth. Okay, the spiritual truth is this. So what do? They go another way, don't they? They go home by another route. And isn't that true of Jesus? The spiritual truth is this. When you lay your eyes on Christ, your life is never the same. It changes you forever. It changed these guys forever. Okay? And my final thought tonight is this. The exact distance the Magi traveled is uncertain. We mentioned that earlier. But when they get there, notice where they go first. They go to Jerusalem. They meet Herod. And he ascertains from them where exactly this child is in Bethlehem. Okay? Now realize this, everyone. We talked about it earlier. It's amazing with Herod. The story of Herod. Do you know how far Jerusalem is to Bethlehem? 7.6 miles. 7.6 miles. That's it. That's all the distance he had to travel. And yet, do you realize what happens, everyone? The wise men and Herod never go. And we realize the Magi traveled miles upon miles upon miles. And you notice what happens in the end? To no one's surprise, the Magi go home happy. Herod is furious. He's filled with rage. And so what does he try to do? He tries to kill. All over, get this, 7.6 miles. That's it. Okay? So just some thoughts tonight I want to share with you on the Epiphany. But everyone tonight, I don't remember if we get a chance, but when you go home tonight, you get a chance and it's a clear night, look up into the sky. 2,000 years ago, these guys did, and they saw a star. And it was through that star, something that we can all see, that Christ showed himself to all the world. The wonderful workings, once again, of God. So God's blessings to you, everyone, and let's celebrate today the faith of Epiphany.